Well, and no, it gets better, or maybe it gets worse, because of the 0.2%, which is a fifth of 1%. Only that's 11 cyclists were in that corridor, in that artery, during that 2-hour time period. But only 5 of the 11 were actually using the bike lanes. An equal number took their bike lane out of the bus lanes. And then one brave soul without a helmet or headlights on his bike, on a wing and a prayer or a death wish, took his bike lane out of the middle of the car lane.
So right outside of our offices, we used to have wonderful lanes that people could drive their car on to get to work at the Independence Institute. And then they got closed down because, we wanted some room to play Frisbee, apparently, during the pandemic. The question is, should they open up? The term is called road dieting. Tim Jackson from the Colorado Auto Dealers Association, who we both could use a little dieting. Tell me what this road dieting is. This is not just happening in Denver. It is happening in city after city to take away people's mobility.
All over the country and all around the world.
Yeah.
But Denver is a leader in it, and they're moving on it rapidly, making it harder for people in Denver, not just people who live here, but people who visit Denver, to own, operate, park, or drive their cars. I've
seen this. I've driven down Broadway, one of the major arterials going into Denver and out of Denver, and a whole lane is gone. I've never once seen a bicycle on one of these new bike lanes that have been put up to take out a car lane. For me, it seems pretty obvious. This is not about making room for bicycles. This is about making it more difficult to drive.
Yeah, but let me help you with your addition, because it's actually 2 lanes. So they've reduced from 5 motor vehicle lanes down to 3, compressed all the commuter traffic that are in cars to 3 lanes, making the right-hand lane bus rapid transit and the left-hand lane bicycles. So they've further reduced and compressed, if you will. And the purpose of this, by recognized council members in the area, they want to make it harder for people to
You've
drive.
Heard Denver City Council members absolutely say, we want to get people used to being hassled when they drive. I don't know how to put it.
Yeah, they've verbalized that to me. When I say, well, and by the way, as you know, I think I'm a pretty avid cyclist, so this is not against bicycling. I just finished another year logging about 2,400 miles on a bike, and that was down because I try to get 3,000 to 4,000 miles. I love my bicycle. I love riding it. I love riding it in Denver, but they don't need to put lanes on South Broadway for me, because not only am I not riding it, but nobody in my friends that are cyclists are choosing the main road arterial to artery, if we can call it that, artery to ride our bikes. But where are we riding? We're riding them over on Sherman Street, Grand Street, Acoma Street. We're not riding on South Broadway. That doesn't sound very safe, even in a bike lane there.
All right, so they take away the lanes to make it harder to drive, and you've heard them say they want to make it harder to drive.
Yes.
To force us out of our cars, and then they want to force us out of our they want to force us into transit. And I'm the former director of RTD. I'm the former chairman of the board of RTD. I'm glad that there's a bus lane there. A bus lane really helps transit and shared rides go, but it's just a bus lane. And so when there isn't a bus on that lane, that capacity, that asphalt, is lying there useless. If there's not a bicycle on the bicycle lane, it's just lying there useless. And so we have, let me see if I got this right, 40% of the capacity on Broadway lying useless most of the time.
Right. We actually staked it out. Can I give you the data on the stakeouts?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
So we did rush hour traffic, 2 hours, 4 to 6 p.m., arguably the busiest time of the day or night in that corridor. And we did it twice. So I'm going to give you the pre-COVID numbers. And the last Friday before daylight savings time ended, and we wanted to count commuters versus the cars themselves. So we wanted daylight to count those commuters. And this was the 2019 numbers. It was about 6,400 and some odd commuters. And
are you talking about cars? Or
commuters in general, but 89% of those commuters were in cars. 11%.
This is on Broadway?
Yes.
So you were there with counters?
Counters.
And
clicker counters.
And you're looking in people's cars and not measuring how many people are there.
We didn't get in with them or anything.
But you just
we caught them on the drive-by. On the buses, we actually got in with them. So one counter would get in the front door on the bus, the other in the back door on the bus, get the count, and then get back off before the bus rolled out. So 89% were in passenger cars, only 11% in the bus lanes. But on the bike lanes, it was even worse. 0.2%. So it was
not 2%. 0.2 of 1% of all the commuters on Broadway were on one full lane of asphalt
in their bikes. But keep in mind, it gets better, or maybe it gets worse, because of the 0.2%, which is a fifth of 1%. Only that's 11 cyclists were in that corridor, in that artery, during that 2-hour time period. But only 5 of the 11 were actually using the bike lanes. An equal number took their bike lane out of the bus lanes. And then one brave soul without a helmet or headlights on his bike, on a wing and a prayer or a death wish, took his bike lane out of the middle of the car lanes.
So
I guess he survived. Yeah. I didn't track him.
So the bikes were evenly split between the bike lane and the bus lane because they're both so damn empty. Why not? It's probably a safer place to go.
So attractive.
Yeah. And so the city clamps down on 40% of the capacity, and on that remainder, you don't have 0.2% of all the commuters. You have 1/10 of 1% on that bike lane.
In the bike lane.
Which could be used for regular mobility, for people to drive their cars, alleviating traffic congestion. And when you alleviate traffic congestion, it's better for the environment. It's the stopping and starting that gives out the most pollution.
You're exactly right.
So
we're creating congestion. This is congestion by design.
The environmentalists who love this are the ones creating pollution because they want to jam up traffic.
Right. And then I've got 2020 data if you want that.
I want to hear it.
So we came back a year later, and now this is a COVID pandemic dynamic.
So I would expect a lot fewer cars.
About, commuters. So about around 16 to 18% fewer commuters, around 5,200.
That's all. Just an 15 to 18% drop.
Surprised me that it wasn't lower than that. But the other data is where it's really compelling. So now it was 89% were in passenger cars. Now it's increased in the COVID era to 97%. So 97% of the commuters are compressed to the middle 3 lanes. The lane that took the real hit was the bus lane, because the bus lane reduced from about 790 some commuters down to 149. It went from 11% of the commuter traffic to only 3%. The bikes reduced a little too, reduced from 11 to 9, but the bike lanes reduced even more, from 5 down to 2.
It's amazing. So when you're stuck in traffic, just remember it's Denver City Council, and up in Boulder, it's Boulder City Council, that has created that traffic jam. RTD creates that traffic jam. RTD pollutes the environment by causing these traffic jams in that bus lane. Now, let me just say, I don't want to get rid of the bus lane, but I want to allow others on there. It'd be a great toll lane to get in and out of Denver the same way we do. It'd be a perfect toll lane for that.
And by the way,
it would still be free flowing. Real fast, we've got about a minute.
Okay. One other dynamic that we found, and you just hit on it, and you and I have not chatted about this part of it before this conversation, but it is being used as the express lane. Because anybody that wants to get through there fast, you better not be standing and doing your counting in that lane. That's the most dangerous place to be. The cars will just literally whiz by you. I mean, I saw cars coming so fast, I was going like this to them, and they were giving me the middle finger wave, and because they're in the express lane. They're using it as an express lane, even though it wasn't intended as that. And actually, you're right. The city or transportation district could be making some money on that as an express lane.
And we could get out of traffic and be good for the environment. If only we did. Tim, thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
If you enjoyed that conversation, by all means, click one of these other great programs. We have the best conversations with the most fascinating Coloradans. And subscribe to our channel. Just click down below and hit that little bell button too. You don't want to miss a single show.